Hey guys, it's Justice with tomorrowsfilmmakers.com, and today we're going to be talking about how to get the correct focus on your camera without using autofocus. Now I know that there's a ton of cameras that are coming out that have great autofocus like Canon and Sony, but there are some cameras like the Panasonic that has okay autofocus, and then maybe there's some cameras like the Blackmagic that doesn't have any autofocus whatsoever. And even if you have good autofocus, there are some situations where it just doesn't work. Maybe like a concert and people have their hands raising and the focus is like going from the person on the stage to the hands, and so you have to turn it off, and you need to know how to get the correct focus in manual focus mode. So the reason I want to talk to you about this today is because I have been filming for over 10 years. That's a long time. 10 years, and I have never once used autofocus. So I want to show you how to get the correct focus whenever you have no money and it's literally just things you can do to your camera, and then all the way to maybe spending a little bit of extra money on some third-party gear that help you get the correct focus every single time. So with that being said, let's jump right into it, and you guys will be a master at getting focus whenever this video is done. So the first thing that you need to do, no matter what camera you have, is to turn on focus peaking. It is essential. And what it does is it gives a little outline to your subject or whatever is in focus. Sometimes it's green, blue, white. You can basically change it any color you want. It allows you to get the focus as quickly as possible and by just glancing at it. So as you can see, if we're focusing here, the background is in focus. You can see that it's green, and then our subject is in focus because it has that green outline. Dwight, hold your hand out towards the camera. So as you can see, his hand has the focus peaking because it is in focus, but now his hat has the focus peaking because it is in focus. So as you can see, the focus peaking helps so much by allowing you to quickly see what is in focus and what is not in focus. The second thing that I do all the time is whenever I'm getting the focus, I will take advantage of the electronic EVF. Now, I would not use this to get accurate colors or anything really specific, but what it allows you to do is completely remove the sun and just be able to focus on the screen and be able to get that focus. So I will literally put my eye to the EVF, I will get the focus, and then that is it. I use that all the time. The second thing I do is I punch into the image and get the focus. So usually there's a button on the back of your camera that allows you to punch into the image, and what you can do is then get the focus and then punch back out and click record. So what I do is if I'm about to film something, I will literally just punch in real quick, make sure it's in focus, punch back out, click record, and then you are ready to start filming. So turn on focus peaking, use your electronic EVF, and make sure that you punch into the image so you can make sure the focus is perfect, punch back out, click record, and then you are guaranteed to get everything in focus. Okay, so the first thing you can do, and the easiest and just most simple thing, is to just crank up your aperture. So you simply crank up the aperture to some crazy high number, and all that does is it allows the box that is in focus to be really large so that Dwight could actually step backwards and forwards and he wouldn't go out of focus. The downside, of course, is that everything is kind of in focus. So Dwight, let's walk back a little bit. There we go. So he's walking. If I get really far back, he is still in focus. And if I get a little bit closer, he is still in focus. And it's all because we have cranked up the aperture to a crazy high number. So it might not look quite as cinematic, but if there's a situation, maybe like a bride walking down the aisle and you don't want to mess up the focus, just go ahead and get the entire aisle in focus so you can get her in focus walking all the way down. That's the first one and is probably the most simple and easiest to do. Now, another way to guarantee getting the focus is to actually focus on a certain point that you know your subject is going to walk past. Now, this only works if you're using this shot specifically like a slow motion take and you only need like a second and a half. Like I said, whenever the bride is coming down the aisle, if you wanted to focus on a certain point in the aisle and then they walk through that focus and then you use that second of slow motion footage, that would work. So it doesn't work with all shots, but it works with something like this. So we're gonna have our subject walk past this area, but we have focused on this point and this is what we're going to capture. So Dwight, could you go over there? And he is going to step right here and he's gonna walk past it because in the video I'm making, I wanna show a foot hitting the ground and I want it to be in focus. So we have focused on that shot and now the subject is going to walk past it. Go ahead, Dwight. and we got our 1.5 footage that we needed that we can then slow down and use in our shot. So this technique doesn't really work for every single scenario, but it does work if you're needing that 1.5 really quick shot that is guaranteed to be in focus. You just focus on a point that you know your subject is about to walk through, and then that little portion will be in focus. Now, those are two ways that you can get focus if you're in a specific scenario, but 95% of the time, if you are using manual focus and you're on a gimbal and your subject is moving, or you want to get those moving shots, this is what you do. You find the distance from the subject, like right here. You get the focus perfect, and you maintain the same distance. If I walk towards him, I'm out of focus. If I walk away from him, I'm out of focus. So I maintain this exact same distance, and I get the shot that I need without moving forward or backwards. And even if Dwight is moving forward, go ahead, Dwight, move forward. I stay at the exact same distance, because if I get too close, I'm out of focus. If I get too far away, I'm out of focus. But I find that distance and I stay in that distance. And now the subject is in focus while I'm moving, because I have not gotten farther away or closer. I have maintained the same distance. Did you see me almost hit that thing? I almost ran right into that thing. So for a real world example, if I have manual focus and he's the groom getting ready at a wedding and I want to get multiple shots, closer, farther away, detail shots, this is what I would typically do, is I would get the focus, move, get the shot I needed to, then I would jump back in. You want to mess with your hoodie strings? Sure. I would get the focus real quick. Once it's in focus, I then get the shot I need. Very good. All right, pretend you have cufflinks on your wrist, other wrist. So I would get really quick. I would look through the eyepiece, or if I wasn't using the eyepiece, I would literally punch into the image. Here, slow down for a second. I would punch into the image, get the focus, then click record. Then I would maintain that same distance, and everything would be in focus. And then if I wanted to get a wider shot, I would zoom out really quick. I would look through the EVF, get the focus, click record, maintain that same distance. And I would basically do this throughout the entire shoot or throughout the entire wedding. I'm gonna get a shot of your hat real quick. So keep doing that, pretend you're... I would punch in, punch back out, get the focus, and then maintain that same distance. And this is how I would typically do weddings or any sort of shoot, is you punch in real quick, get the focus, punch back out, press record, and then maintain that same distance. Because if you go too far forward or too far backwards, everything is out of focus. So it's basically just a really quick game of jumping in there, punch in, get the focus, jump back out, press record, and maintain that same distance. It sounds complicated, but once you do it a few hundred times, it just becomes second nature to you. So that is how I would typically get the focus on weddings, real estate, commercials, whatever the project may be. So use those techniques and you are guaranteed to get the correct focus every single time without having to go back into your editor and be so mad at yourself because it was out of focus. So the next way to get the correct focus is with a follow focus. Now this costs just a little bit of money, but what it essentially is a wheel that connects to the gears on your focus, and it allows you to turn the wheel and it turns the focus of the actual lens. Now, yes, this is a lot easier just to get focus because you're getting your hands off of the lens, but how people typically use it is that there is a dry erase board on the actual follow focus and allows you to make marks on the ground and then make marks on the follow focus. And whenever your subjects hit those marks on the ground, you hit those marks on your follow focus and it guarantees that you get the correct focus. So Dwight, I'm gonna have you step right here. Random piece of tape on the ground. And then I want you to walk right here to this piece of tape. And you can actually stand on the tape. And of course, this makes more sense if you're actually planning out shots and not just like at a wedding or something. So this would be more if you have an actor and you're planning out a certain take. So what you would do is, Dwight, are you on that mark? So Dwight is on that first mark, and so I'm gonna take the dry erase marker and make a little line. And so you can see right here that this is where the focus wheel needs to be in focus for that spot. And Dwight, come all the way up to this spot here. And so once he gets on this mark that I have made, I will then get the correct focus for him here, which is right there. And so now I can make my mark here. And so now just this subtle movement right there is all you need. And so now all I know is that whenever he's walking from that mark to that mark, whenever he hits those marks, this is where the focus needs to be on the focus wheel. Just something as simple as that. So Dwight, go stand over there. So do me a favor, step back like 6 more feet. Very good. And then just walk to that spot right there. All right, and go ahead and walk. And he hits that mark. And then I slowly move the focus. I'm following him. And then he hits that mark. And he is in focus. All because we have hit the marks that we made on the follow focus to hit the marks on the ground that we have made. And now we have actually got a shot of Dwight walking from there to here in focus because of the follow focus. It's a great little tool to have, and I'll have a link in the description where you can buy these. It's probably like $100 or something, but it is a game changer. So now that we've learned about some of the ways that you can get focus without paying any extra money, there are a few things that you can buy to make your life a lot easier. Now, this is probably $200, $250. If you did buy the Ronin S like Pro combo, it comes with it. But DJ has created a focus motor that actually hooks to the front of your lens that will then hook to the focus wheel here on the gimbal. And so like, as you can see, whenever I move the wheel on the gimbal, we're actually turning the focus ring. And it actually looks really cool, and it allows you to get all of your hands off of the camera, be able to just focus by turning the wheel on your gimbal. And so if I wanted to focus on the woods or Dwight, I can easily by just barely moving my finger on the focus wheel. So this is something that, you know, isn't necessary to get the correct focus every single time, but it does help significantly. So this allows you to just really quickly grab the focus, get the shot. If I wanted to zoom in a little bit more, I zoom in, then I grab the focus by using the wheel on the gimbal, then I get the shot. And if I wanted to focus on the background, I don't have to touch the camera anymore. I simply turn the wheel and we focus on the background. So much, much easier. It is something that you can buy. And like I said, if you got the DJI like Pro combo, it comes with it. And it is a game changer to just get your hands off of the camera and be able to get those shots really easily without having to punch in or punch out, but just moving your finger. So one more system that I wanted to talk about, if you wanted to spend a little bit of extra money, DJI actually has an infrared autofocusing system that goes on the outside of the camera and communicates with the focus motor on the DJI Ronin S. So you basically calibrate it for distance, and then whatever this infrared sees, it will then tell the focus motor to focus on that distance. So for example, we have it set up here, and if we're walking straight, so we move forward very slowly, and as you can see, the focus motor is moving slowly with us to keep what is in focus. And then we move back, and again, you can see it moving really slowly. And basically, whatever is directly in front of it, that's what it's going to focus on. Now, it has some quirks, as you can see. If you like focus on things that are closer or farther away, it kind of jumps around and is trying to figure out what you're looking at. But for an external system, it actually works really, really well. So again, that is on the more expensive side. I don't tend to use this as often. If I'm gonna be shooting a wedding or something like that, I'm doing the punch in, get the focus, punch out method. But it is something to be aware of and actually works really, really well. So guys, I hope this has really helped you out and given you the confidence you need to get the correct focus whenever you are not using autofocus, or even if you have autofocus, if the scenario is bad and you need to turn autofocus off. Now you know exactly how I get the correct focus by turning on focus peaking, taking advantage of the EVF, punching in, punching out, staying at that same distance and not moving too far away, maybe buying a follow focus or getting some third-party gear to put on your gimbal. All of these things are just tools to help you get the correct focus. But it is not necessarily the gear that makes the filmmaker, but it is the skill. And inside our academy at tomorrowsfilmmakers.com, we have over 1,200 video lessons and over 100 hours of content taught by leading professionals in the industry. So if you want to take your filmmaking career to a whole new level, you can check out our academy for only 97 bucks. Yes, you get everything included, a lifetime membership for only 97 bucks. So head on over to tomorrowsfilmmakers.com and I will see you guys there.